Draws two. Now the defense is on the carousel. Feet up top, gets through. Shot, Lloyd, goal.
A previous video of mine covers this successful Duke slide against the Luke Committee dodge that you're watching right now. The bit of chaos created by the successful slide and recovery is what opens up the opportunity for this next dodge that results in a goal. When JoJo Marasco catches this pass, the setup of the Syracuse offense couldn't be any worse for him to dodge. Of the 5 Duke defenders not guarding Marasco, 4 of them are grouped right in between him and the net, and the 5th is guarding the guy at X. Compare that setup to the one that Committee dodges out of, where Syracuse has cleared all the Duke defenders out of the half of the field that Committee is going to dodge into, making the slides as long as possible. As I show this play one more time, I want you to pay careful attention to Duke defender number 91, Luke Dupree. He's guarding JoJo Marasco. Watch as he gets picked here by Scott Loy. That's going to slow him down and make him a step or two late coming out to defend Marasco as he catches the pass. That's going to open up the opportunity for Marasco to dodge. If you look at his feet, you'll notice that they're square to Marasco. That's going to create problems for him by making him a half step slower to turn his hips and run with Marasco, as well as prevent him from forcing Marasco down the alley. What he needs to do is set up on an angle, taking away Marasco's right hand and forcing him left out of the center of the field. Watch Duke's number 91 again. The pick is going to slow him down and prevent him from getting out, breaking down to his stance, getting his feet set up the way he'd like to. That allows Marasco to make a move to the inside and forces him to overreact to it, which thus enables the move back to the outside to draw a slide. When Marasco dodges to his right, he's dodging right at his teammate, number 7, Derek Maltz. That's problematic, obviously, because Maltz has a defender on him, and there's not really any space for Marasco to work with. What Maltz is going to do to remedy this situation is he's going to come underneath and try to set a pick for Marasco. That occupies at least one of the defenders and makes him a threat to score when he rolls to the goal off of the pick. One common mistake that a lot of less experienced players make in this situation is to back out. That's a mistake because it allows your defender to slide to the ball and double it without making yourself a threat to draw a second slide if your teammate with the ball passes it to you. However, Dupree's footwork mistake forces him to react hard to the inside in response to Marasco's dodge, which opens up the rollback away from Maltz's pick. As Marasco rolls back to his left, that leaves Scott Loy in an awkward spot. He's too close to where Marasco's dodging to be able to catch a pass. But if he moves away, he moves right into another Duke defender. Syracuse is so poorly spaced on this left side of the field that there's really nowhere for him to go. He's going to do the same thing that Derek Maltz did and come set a pick for Marasco. If he can't take advantage of a slide from his defender, he's at least going to make things difficult for Duke to double Marasco. As Loy sets this pick, you're going to see his defender, number 6, Will Haas, is not going to slide to Marasco. There are 2 reasons he could go to Marasco. Either they could be switching on the pick, which they're not, because they don't want to end up with a short stick defensive midfielder on Marasco, who's one of the best offensive players in college lacrosse. And secondly, they're sliding adjacent rather than sliding from the crease. Instead, number 77, Henry Lobb, is going to slide to Marasco, who's going to move the ball behind the net to Kevin Rice. That's going to force Duke's number 13, Chris Hips, to slide over to Rice. Syracuse attackman Dylan Donahue is going to step up on the backside and make himself a threat to score. JoJo Marasco still has 2 defenders next to him. I want you to pay attention to their momentum. Number 77, Henry Lobb's momentum is still carrying him away from the goal as he just finished his slide to Marasco. Number 91, Luke Dupree's momentum is carrying him back towards X. As the play develops, you can see that puts Dupree in a much better position to see where the ball is and get back to pick up another Syracuse player. He's going to make a long cross-crease recovery over to pick up Donahue on the far side of the goal. Once he gets there, Duke's fully recovered from the slide. They're back to having each of their 6 defenders guarding 1 offensive player, and they're all in decent position in between their man and the goal. Will Haas is just a half step or a step too far off of Scott Loy. That allows Donahue to sneak a pass by him. Even though he's correctly positioned in the passing lane, looking at it frame by frame shows you just how ever so slightly he's positioned too far away from Loy to be able to get his stick on the pass. Henry Lobb can't quite get his stick on Loy, and a minor positioning mistake results in a big goal for Syracuse.